Okay, so how do we do the first one here? The little red bird. So red bird starts at a point 10, 0. His flight path reaches a maximum height of 18 and lands at 38, 0. So I'm going to do a little sketch here because I'm a visual guy and the Angry Bird's there, visual. So I start at 10, 0. So I don't start over here at 0, 0. I start off at over here somewhere at 10, 0. I go up as an Angry Bird and down and kerpoof. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of morbidity or something there with the Angry Birds, right? They're sacrificing their lives to blow up a pig at the end, right? That's kind of a little bit, I don't know. But it's fun. I don't know if you ever played that game. It is fun. The physical, you know, I like these guys, like the bomb birds, right? Because if you play the game at all, you know the bomb birds. They can, if you hit them at the right spot, pretty sure it's a bomb bird, it will split off into multiple little bombs. So you hit the thing, and then you hit the thing again, and then you get a little scatter effect. So they end here at 38. So this one's a little bit trickier. Not really, if you draw a diagram. So we want to know the maximum point. Well, they always say the maximum, or the y is always the maximum part, is 18. So this is something, comma 18, which is of an important part. It's the most important part of any type of vertex because, well, there it is. It's the vertex. But we don't know the x component of it yet. Well, sure we do. Because this is symmetry, this is symmetrical, we know it's exactly between 10 and 38. How do you find the middle number between two numbers? Well, we did that in the very first unit. We find the average. So 10 plus 38, enter, divided by 2, 24. So right in the middle there is 24. That is going to be my point of maximum height. So the x is 24 along here, so that coordinate point is 24 and 18. And with those two numbers, those are the most important numbers right here. They go 24 here and 18 here. And because it's positive 18, it's positive 18. Because it's positive 24, positive 24. But when I stick it into the brackets, it's the negative 24 in there. Now, the only thing we need now, so we've got 2/3 of the answer. We would actually literally get 2 out of 3 of this question, 3 points. What's the a value? Well, we know it's negative. Why? Because it's upside down. But we don't know the a value of that. And so at this point, what we would normally do, we go over 1 and down however many. But because this is a sketch and there's no lines on it, that is not accurate whatsoever. So that's where we have to use the calculator. Okay, so what numbers do we have on the calculator that we can put in the calculator? Well, we've got 3 numbers, which is good because we need at least 3 to make a pattern. We got 1, 2, and now that we found the vertex, 3. I'm just going to put those in table format. 10, 0, that's the x and the y. What do we have? 38, 0, 38, 0, that's the x and the y. And 24, vertex, 24 and 18. Those are the minimum 3. I need at least 3, and fortunately I've got 3. So now I'm just going to do what the calculator says, find the vertex. So you can enter your quadratic equation. I don't have that. Find the vertex, use quad 3. I don't have that. How can I do this? I can find the equation using a pattern because we've got a table of values or a pattern. And if you need to, you can actually, for patterns here, you can put table of values if that helps. This is a pattern. We just have to figure out what it is. So what do? Stat, edit. And we put in 10, 38, 24, 10, 38, 24, and we put 0, 0, and 18. So L1 and L2. If you don't have an L1 and L2, let me know, but you have to set up you have to reset your window and stuff. Not your window, but your, you set up your editor, number 5, and then it'll be there. Once you have that, then pattern, so stat, edit, put your numbers into L1, L2, then stat, calculate 5, quadratic. These are all quadratic equations, so stat, scroll over to calculate, down to number 5, quadratic. Number 5, hit enter, and r squared has to be equal to 1. If it's not equal to 1, you did it wrong. Okay? This is a perfect fit. That's what that r squared means. It's called the correlation coefficient. It's a statistics thing, but it just means that you put your numbers in right. And since we did, all we care about, this is in the wrong format. This is not in standard format. This is standard format. This calculators don't put it in standard format, but the A value in general format, which this is the ABC format or general format, the A value is the same in general and in standard. So that's all we're going to do is we're going to pick out that A, and the A value, I'm going to write it down here. A is equal to negative 0.091836. That's pretty close. Okay, there's the first equation. So the A is negative 0.0918. Okay, weird number. We would never be able to count that, right? Because that A value, over 1, down 0.0918. Oh, like you can't do that. Okay, so that's why we need the calculator for the A. So we should be able to get the vertex for everything, but use the calculator for the A values. Okay, Yellowbird's flight. There it is in general format. Will I be able to graph that? Yep. So I don't really need to do anything with this because what we're going to do is we're going to graph all these 4. I want them in standard format first, like an equation, y equals. But this one already has a y equals equation. This one's got a y equals equation. This will be y1. This will be y2. And this will be y3. But since that's already y equals equation, we don't really need to do anything. So I can start putting these things in now. Redbird's already there. Yellowbird, I'm going to put that in. Negative x squared. There's no calculations involved here at all. Plus 14x, x, minus 24. And since I'm already there, I'm going to put this other one in. Negative 0.091836 bracket x minus 24 bracket squared plus 18. So now we just need to figure out 2 more. One is a Bluebird. I have to change my color here to blue. And then I've got Blackbird, which is black already. All right, so we need 2 more equations, blue and black. Bluebird. Oh, this one's going to be easy. What's that maximum height? What's the most important point? Right there. What is that number right there? What is halfway between 10 and 15? 10 plus 15 divided by 2, 12 and a half. So the maximum height there is 12.5. This is the vertex. So what is the x value? Oops, that should be a straight line. Well, this one starts at 0, so this one's easy. So half of 26 is just 13, right? Now, if this didn't start at 0, like this one here, what we did is we added them first and then divided by 2. Well, 26 plus 0 is 26, and then divided by 2 is 13. So we're doing the same thing. This one's easier to visualize than that one because this one starts at 0. There's the most important number, and as a result, the equation is 2/3 done. It's going to be minus 13, and this is plus 12.5. The only thing I don't have is my A value. And again, if you don't have the A value, let your calculator figure it out because sometimes they're a little bit tricky. So, table of values, so that my calculator can figure out this pattern. And I've got a point here, a point there, and a point there. I got 3 points. So I'm going to put the 1 point I figured it out already. That's the vertex. The other point is 0, 0. And the third point is 26, 0. Just put those 3 numbers in. I got 3 numbers. I can get an A value. Stat. Edit. 13, 0, and 26. Okay, 13, 12.5, 0, 0. All right. And then using my calculator, I have to scroll over to calculate. So stat, scroll over to calculate, down to number 5, make sure r squared is equal to 1. Yes, good. I entered it right, and the only number I want is the A, because that's the only thing I need. I've got everything else. Now, alternatively, you don't need to write it in this format. This is the format we prefer because it has the vertex right there, okay? But once you find the vertex, if you figure out the vertex, all you have to do, in order to graph this, you could actually just write these numbers in. So instead of writing, in the y equals, we can say it's going to be, well, here, let me put the A first, and then I'll negative 0.0739. So this is negative 0.0739. I could type that into y3 and be done with it. Or I could write down the A number, the B number, and the C number, and put these things into y3 when I graph it, and it'll be the same graph. It's just in a different format. This is the preferred calculator format, and this is the preferred human format because it shows the vertex nice and easily. Okay? So the calculator, extrapolates this weird, it doesn't care about how many numbers or decimals there are. It's just we like the 13 and 12.5 because it's nice and neat package. Calculator, it prefers 1.92307.6, whatever. Okay? So it's just a matter of preference. So I'm gonna write down B. There is C's equals 0, so that's easy. And I'm actually going to put it in calculator format. When you put it in the y equals, I'm going to put it this 1.923076.9 and 3964. And I'm going to go to y equals. And down here, I'm going to put negative 0.073964 x squared plus 1.9230769 x plus 0. And there we go. So the third one is done. The fourth one's easy. It's a table. So now, I don't know if you recall what we did on Tuesday, but let's see if we can, as humans, figure out a pattern to this table. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's an easy pattern. 13, 14, all the way up to 18. Okay, no problem. 0, 7.5, 14, 19.5, so it's going up, 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 going down. So the highest number is 32. And so on this side of 32, so I'm just going to put a little arrow there. On this side of 32, we got 31.5, and on this side we got 31.5, and that's because this is the axis of symmetry. It doesn't always work out this way, but this one does. And so if this one's the middle, that's 31.5 and that's 31.5. If I go 1, 2 over, I get 30. So if I go 1, 2 over, guess what number that's going to be? No calculator involved there. I didn't have to do too much math there, right? And so that makes this my most important number because it's the number in the middle. We call that the vertex. So I got 2/3 of my answer by just looking and figuring out a very simple pattern. Okay? So the vertex then is 16, 32. That's the vertex. And so y is equal to blank, x blank, blank. And we're going to put a 32 there. We're going to put a 16 there and a minus because you flip it in the brackets. And that's a plus. And the only thing we need to figure out is A. We do know that it's Angry Bird, so it's going to be negative. How do you figure out A? Calculator. All right. Second function quit. Stat. Again, it's a pattern or a table. So, like again, if you need to put table in there, so pattern or table, then you're more than welcome to. You don't need to put all these numbers in. You just need to pick 3, any 3. Okay, you need a minimum 3. I like 5 when I graph it, but minimum 3, especially if they give you the numbers, you know it's going to work out. And so, stat, edit. I'm going to put the first 3, 8, 9, 10, and 0, 7.5, and 14. There's my 3. Stat, scroll over to calculate, down to number 5. This is going to get really, really boring after a while. It's always the same thing. Did I do it right? Yes, r squared equals 1. This is a nice quadratic. Look at this. It works out nice and evenly. And guess what the a is? Negative 0.5. That one's a nice, easy number, not some weird decimal like 0.07309. Okay? This is this fat, skinny factor. So if I've got a negative 0.5 compared to a negative 0.0739, which one's fatter? This guy. So this guy's spread out. So this guy's got more of a trajectory. It's going, right? More of a, it's got more length to it. This one, it's higher. It's skinnier. Okay? Now it's still fatter than a regular, it's still longer or fatter than a regular quadratic because it's 0.5 compared to 1. But, you know, comparing this one to this one, that's a smaller fraction, okay? Or a larger fraction if you want to call it that way. As a result, this one's got more of a reach. So this one will go further. This one will go not quite as far. So this one maxes out at 26. This one here should max out before 26 because it doesn't have quite as far as a reach, right? And then we got them all four. There we are, all four. So we just have to enter it in, and then we'll graph it, and we'll see who hits the king pig and who hits mustache. Here we go, y equals, and number 4 down to black. So I got red, yellow, blue, and black. And black is nice and simple, negative 0.5, bracket, x minus 16, x minus 16, bracket all squared, and then plus 32. There we are. Now, I could hit graph right away, okay? Well, actually I will. And fortunately, I still have my window set up, but it's not quite perfect because it went off the window. So I'm gonna have to change my window. There's another one. And there's the third one. So basically, the only one that's messed up here is the one that starts at 10 and the one that ends over here. Which one starts at 10? It's Redbird here. It starts at 10. Where does it end? Well, right there at 38. So I'm going to change my, this is the horizontal or the X. This is my Y. So I'm going to change my X so it's a little bit longer. I need it to come out and land at 38 because otherwise I don't know where Redbird's landing. He's landing off the screen somewhere. And if you actually play the game, they'll actually go off screen if you have your thing too far out. So I'm going to change my window and my X, I have, I stop at 30, no wonder. So I'm going to stop at 40 and then we'll have 2 dots there. It'll land 2 dots before the end of the screen. So hit graph now. That's the only thing I changed. I just made 2 more dots. The red goes all the way there, and I got 2 dots to spare. There's my yellow bird. Here's my blue bird. Where's he going? He's starting from 0, right? And finally, blackbird. Okay, cool. There we are, all 4 birds on the screen. Now, what do I not have on the screen? I don't have my green pigs. So this guy's at 21 and 19.5. Now, I would suggest using second function table and just looking those things up, but we are going to just use the scroll key right quick here, and we'll estimate at 21. So you can see the numbers down here. We're not at 21, but if I go here to 21, oops, X is on the 21. There's 21 point something, 21.06, and I want to go down to 19.5. So 19.5, as close as I can get. And can you tell me which bird here is going to be nuking King Pig? Well, he's on the black line there, so it's going to be Blackbird. Okay, that's one way of doing it. So it's going to be Black Bird is the one. Okay, now Blackbird. Now, that's one way of doing it. It's not precise because I don't have exactly 21. I don't have exactly 19.5. But that's the only thing close, okay? The other way of doing it, it's probably easier, is you go second function table, boop, and what number do we want to look up? We want to look up who is at what position when X is 21. So here's your X, here's your red bird, your yellow bird, your blue bird, your black bird, and they're all listed there. And we want to go down to number 21 and see who hit who. So at 21, red bird is at 17. Now we want 19. Okay, Yellowbird's at negative 171. He's way off. Okay, Bluebird's at 7.765, And Blackbird is a bang on exactly at 19.5, and that's why Blackbird is the winner for that particular one. Now, how do you do Mustache Pig? Well, since we already have the table up, all we're going to look at here is number 9, who's going to hit 21. So I'm going to scroll up here. I was at 21. Now I'm going to scroll up to number 9 and scroll across. It's not red. It is Yellowbird. It is Chuck. Right? So, Mustache Pig, Chuck. Who's Yellowbird? Yellowbird. And there's version 1. All right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you work on 3, 4, and 5, version 3, 4, and 5. You've already done 2 versions. You've done version 1 and version 2. Version 2 last class and version 1 just now. Hopefully it won't take you 20 minutes to do each one, but you work it through. If you have problems, then I'll be around and help you out with that.